Nostril and nasal cavity. Nasal cavity is a triangular shaped cavity placed above the buccal cavity. It runs from nostril to pharynx. A thin membrane separates the two from one another. Its anterior part is covered with hairs and the posterior part by a membrane. The process of taking air through nostril is called inhalation. When air contains dust and germs, the hair and the membrane obstruct them. So inhalation, what is inhalation? The process of taking air through nostril, through nose, is called inhalation. Nasopharynx. Nasopharynx is the last portion of nasal cavity. The air enters the trachea through nasopharynx. Larynx. It is situated at the junction of pharynx and trachea. Larynx has sound producing cords called vocal cord. On the larynx hole there is a lid. It covers the larynx during the intake of food so that food cannot enter the larynx. It opens again during inhalation. Trachea. Starting from larynx up to bronchus is trachea. Through this trachea, air enters into lungs. Bronchus. The trachea divides into two bronchus from near the lungs and enter into the left and right lungs. They are called right and left bronchus, plural bronchi. After entering into the lungs, these branches again divide into innumerable branches. They are termed as bronchioles. The structure of a bronchus is like a trachea. Lungs. There are two lungs on two sides of the heart inside the chest cavity. It is soft like a sponge. The right lungs is a bit larger than the left one. Lungs are covered with two fold membranes called pleura. In between pleura folds some slimy substances are present, so it prevents friction with chest wall. Bronchus branches profusely on enter the lungs. These small bronchioles enter into air cells or sacs. Each air sac is made of epithelial cell. These cells are surrounded by capillary vessels. When air enters into the cell, they swell up like balloon and then automatically shrinks. Walls of air sacs and capillary vessels are so thin that air can pass through them easily. Diaphragm. The muscular layer that separates abdominal cavity and chest cavity is diaphragm. It looks like an open umbrella. When diaphragm shrinks, it goes down and the area of chest cavity increases. When it expands, it goes up and the chest cavity shrinks. Breathing function is done due to expansion and contraction of diaphragm. Next, lesson 4 to 6, respiratory process. We inhale air through nostril. We term this as respiration. This is a wrong concept. Our chest continuously expands and shrinks and takes oxygen and drive out carbon dioxide like balloons. As a result, the area of the lungs increases and decreases in volume. Lungs continuously expand and shrink to inhale oxygen, exhale carbon dioxide. This is called breathing. This is one step of respiration. Respiration is divided into two types, such as external respiration and internal respiration. External respiration. The process where gases exchange occurs through lungs is external respiration. In this process, exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide occurs between lungs and capillary vessels. External respiration is completed in two steps such as inhalation. We take in oxygenated air from the atmosphere. It is called inhalation. During this process, muscles in between diaphragm and chest cavity shrink. Exhalation. After inhalation, exhalation phase starts. In this stage, muscles of diaphragm and chest cavity relax and squeeze. As a result, area of lungs become small. The area and carbon dioxide from the alveoli transported through bronchus and tracheae are expelled outside through nostril. Internal respiration. During internal respiration, the cellular food is oxidized in presence of oxygen and converted into kinetic energy and heat energy. Oxygen that enters into the blood of the lung moves with blood to distant capillary vessel. Oxygen then reaches into cellular juice through the walls of capillary vessels. Oxygen enters the cells via this oxygen carrying juice. Then it reacts chemically with cellular food and produces energy. As a consequence, heat energy and carbon dioxide are produced. This carbon dioxide is transported to lung again through blood. Flow chart of respiratory system is given below. Nostril, nasal passage, nasopharynx, trachea, bronchus, bronchiole, alveoli or ear sac. So some lesson 7 common disease of respiratory tract. Mr. Hakim is suffering from tuberculosis. Propullo Babu is suffering from asthma. Small baby Vikas is attacked with pneumonia. What are the causes of this disease? What precautions should they take to avoid these diseases? What are the remedies of these diseases? Certain portion of these diseases could be prevented. If cause, symptom, remedy and preventive measures of these diseases are known. Tuberculosis. Tuberculosis is a well-known infectious disease. This disease is easily transmitted. Persons who are weak, do hard physical labor, live in unhygienic environment and suffer from malnutrition or live with tuberculosis patient and are liable to suffer from this disease. Cause. One type of tuberculosis is responsible for this disease. Symptom. Body weight is gradually lost and the patient becomes weak. Occasional cough with bleeding. Fever in the evening and sweat at night. Pain in the chest and back. Occasional stomach disorder. Remedy. The patient should be given nutritious food. According to the advice of a physician, treatment should be started quickly. Long treatment is needed and should be continued till complete cure. Treatment must not be discontinued without the advice of a physician. Prevention. Preventive measures for tuberculosis is BCG vaccine. Newborn babies should be vaccinated within 1 year. The newborn baby should be vaccinated as soon as possible. Tuberculosis patients should be kept separately. Best suggestion is to send the patient to the hospital. It ensures proper treatment. Cough and spit of the patient should be buried under the soil because they contain large number of germs. Mouth should be covered with handkerchief when coughing and sneezing. Children should not be allowed to go to the tuberculosis patient. So tuberculosis, shortly we call TB, is one of the common respiratory diseases. So you have to learn this disease, the description, the symptom, remedy, prevention, and the causes. So this is important. Okay. Next one is pneumonia. It is a disease of the lung. Severe cold attack is responsible for this disease. After measles and bronchitis, a patient may be attacked with pneumonia. If the patient catches cold severely, it is a fatal disease for children. Cause: the disease mainly caused by infection with one type of bacteria. Symptom: patient suffer from cough and breathing difficulties. The nostril becomes wider during inhalation. High fever with feelings of constant pain in the chest. Remedy: immediate advice of the physician is to be taken. Food and medicine according to the advice of the physician should be given. More and more water and liquid food, soup, fruit juice should be given. The patient should be given nutritious food. Prevention: when children are attacked with measles or bronchitis, more care should be taken. Bronchitis: another disease is bronchitis. Tracheal infection is called bronchitis. Unhygienic environment, dusty weather, catching cold, and smoking may cause this disease. Cause: one type of virus is responsible for disease. Symptom: cough with respiratory trouble. Open cough comes out. The patient suffers from fever and gradually becomes weak. Stopping smoking. Treatment according to doctor's advice. This is the remedy. And next is asthma. Asthma is not an infectious or contagious disease. The cause of this disease may be some food dust in the air or pollen grain when inhaled. In children, cough and cold is the main cause of this disease. Exception: in certain season or at the time of season, exchange abundance of the disease is marked. Symptoms: suddenly breathing trouble shoots up. Sometimes breathing is about to stop. The patient tries to breathe forcibly. The alveoli of the lung do not get proper supply of oxygen or the supply is blocked. As a result, the patient is in trouble. During inhalation, skin is between ribs is pushed in. Sometimes white colored cup comes out with cup but no fever. The patient cannot take hard food and sometimes the patient vomits and becomes weak. Remedy: the patient should live in a well ventilated and well lighted house. Avoid eating foods or coming in contact with things such as woolen clothes that can intensify the disease. Follow doctor's advice and avoid dust and smoke. Give up the habit of smoking. Taking medicine relieves respiratory trouble, but it is not cured fully. It is necessary for the patient to carry respiratory trouble relieving medicine with them. Lesson 8. You have learned about photosynthesis while reading in class 6. Complete the following work. Write down the point of differences between photosynthesis and respiration and present on a poster paper. What we learned from these chapters: respiration is indispensable for energy. Stomata and guard cell. Guard cell help opening and closing of stomata. Guard cell contain chlorophyll. All daytime photosynthesis occurs in guard cell. As a result, stomata opens. Respiratory is essential for organism. External respiration: oxygen enters into capillary vessels from the alveoli of the lungs and carbon dioxide comes from the blood to alveoli. This gaseous exchange of the lungs is called external respiration. Inhalation and exhalation is included in external respiration. Internal respiration: inside mitochondria within cell, oxygen acts on food in some enzyme control reaction. Internal respiration goes like this. Lymph: it is a transparent, mild alkali. It is a special modified tissue fluid. So, from these chapters, we have learned stomata and gut cell, external respiration and internal respiration, and lymph. So next, you see in the exercise, fill in the blanks. In photosynthesis, you see, in photosynthesis, food is produced, but in respiration, and number 2, mitochondria, mitochondria, mitochondria is called the powerhouse of cell. Lungs is composed of a large number of bronchioles, bronchioles, and is an infectious disease. Tuberculosis is an infectious disease. Respiration is a intracellular metabolic process. Intracellular metabolic process. And short answer question: what is internal respiration? What are the causes and symptoms of pneumonia? Mention the necessity of respiration. Mention the function of alveoli. Explain respiration in plants and animals. This chapter is somewhat difficult for understanding, but some tips and tricks you have to follow are that you have to draw this figure, human respiratory system, and you level the diagrams. I mean, various organs of the diagrams here are given. So you at first you draw the diagram and level the different organs. After completing, leveling the diagrams, you will explain one by one. Okay, so this is the technique, or tips for your learning or understanding. So here, these short questions are not so difficult. What is internal respiration? Or it may be what is external respiration. So this just you learn the definition of this term: internal respiration, external respiration, causes and symptoms of pneumonia. 4 or 5 diseases are here. You have to cause, symptoms, remedy. In every disease you have to explain or discuss. Mention the necessity of respiration. What is the necessity of respiration? That means usefulness of respiration. Mention the function of alveoli. And alveoli is given there. Explain respiration in plants and animals. And the next multiple choice question: which one is not a pair of respiratory system? Which one is not a pair of respiratory system? Gut cell, skin, lenticell, gut cell, stomata. Which one is not a part of respiratory system? Gut cell is given here, C number. And lower animal respire with the help of number B. 2, skin and trachea with the respire with the help of. And see the STEM answer question number 3, 4 and 5. 3 is, the answer of 3 is bronchus. You see B number option, bronchus, and X, C number. And also name the disease produced by the infection of part V. This is bronchitis. B number. Okay. So So the creative question are two creative question are given here. First creative question, the option is what is pleura? Pneumonia is a fatal disease. Explain and explain the process shown in the diagram. Analyze the remedies of the problem created when F substance enters into E part. Number 2 creative question, what is respiration? How does stomata help in respiration? Explain. Which one of Y and Z utilizes product of X? Explain. For gases exchange, how Y and Z are interdependent on each other? Write with arguments. So you must learn these two creative questions yourself after completing your assignment, okay, because this chapter is included in syllabus of annual exam. So chapter 1, chapter 4 already we got revised, so it is your responsibility for learning all the creative question, short question of the exercise of the chapters. So this is all for today. Take care yourself. Best of luck. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you for joining the class, listening to my lectures and watching my videos. Goodbye.